Have you ever noticed how the things you chase the hardest often seem to run away from you? The more desperately you seek approval, the more invisible you feel. The more aggressively you pursue happiness, the further it appears to drift into the distance. The more tightly you try to control life, the more chaotic everything becomes. Yet there is a timeless truth the Stoics understood centuries ago, a truth so powerful that it can completely transform your life. What you are meant for often comes to you when you stop forcing it. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of people committed to wisdom, inner strength, and personal growth. If these teachings resonate with you, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss a lesson that could change your life. Now settle in. Because what you're about to hear may completely change the way you look at success, relationships, opportunities, and even yourself. Most people spend their lives running towards something, running away from something, running after validation, running after money, running after status, running after love. They believe that if they can just move faster, push harder, and force life to obey their plans, they will finally reach peace. But peace cannot be caught. Peace arrives when chasing ends. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He ruled one of the most powerful empires in history, yet he constantly reminded himself that external things were never truly under his control. Not fame, not wealth, not other people, not circumstances. Only his own mind. This realization became the foundation of extraordinary inner freedom. The first Stoic rule that helps manifest everything you want is learning to stop begging life for permission to be happy. Many people postpone happiness. They say they'll be happy when they make more money, when they find the right partner, when they buy a bigger house, when they gain recognition, when they finally reach some imaginary destination. But life keeps moving. Years pass. Dreams change. And happiness remains postponed. The Stoics taught that happiness is not found in obtaining things. It is found in becoming the kind of person who no longer depends on things. Think about that. If your happiness depends on something outside yourself, then your peace is always vulnerable. Someone else's opinion can destroy your mood. A setback can ruin your confidence. A rejection can shatter your identity. But when your happiness comes from within, life loses its power to control you. And strangely enough, this is often when opportunities begin appearing. People are drawn toward those who radiate calm confidence. Not desperation. Not neediness. Not anxiety. The energy you bring into the world matters. When you stop acting from lack, you begin acting from abundance. And abundance attracts. Desperation repels. There is an invisible difference between someone who says, "I need this to happen," and someone who says, "I would welcome it, but I'll be fine either way." The second person possesses power. Because they are free. Freedom is magnetic. People can feel it. The second Stoic rule is mastering your attention. Your attention is your life. Whatever you consistently focus on grows stronger. If you constantly focus on problems, your world becomes filled with problems. If you constantly focus on fear, your reality becomes shaped by fear. If you constantly focus on what is missing, you train your mind to see lack everywhere. The Stoics understood that the quality of your life depends largely on the quality of your thoughts. Every day, countless thoughts enter your mind. Some empower you. Some weaken you. Some inspire action. Some create paralysis. Most people never question these thoughts. They simply believe them. But wisdom begins when you realize that not every thought deserves your attention. You are not obligated to entertain every fear. You are not required to believe every doubt. You do not have to obey every anxious prediction your mind creates. You have the ability to choose. And that choice changes everything. When you begin directing your attention toward growth, gratitude, discipline, and possibility, your entire experience of life shifts. Not because the world changes. Because you change. The third Stoic rule is becoming emotionally independent. This may be one of the most difficult lessons of all. Many people unknowingly hand control of their emotional state to others. A compliment makes them feel valuable. A criticism makes them feel worthless. A text message makes them happy. Silence makes them anxious. Their emotions are controlled by external events. But Stoicism teaches a different path. Your emotional stability must come from within. Because the moment your peace depends on another person, you become vulnerable to manipulation, disappointment, and suffering. True power emerges when you realize that your worth is not determined by who chooses you. Your value is not determined by who leaves. Your significance is not determined by who understands you. You remain valuable regardless. You remain worthy regardless. You remain enough regardless. And when you truly believe this, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing people. You stop performing for approval. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into places where you do not belong. Instead, you begin standing firmly in your own identity. Ironically, this often attracts the very respect you once desperately sought. Because confidence grows where dependency dies. The fourth Stoic rule is embracing patience. Modern culture worships speed. Everyone wants immediate results. Immediate success. Immediate wealth. Immediate transformation. But nature operates differently. The strongest trees take years to grow. The deepest rivers carve their paths slowly. The most meaningful transformations happen quietly and gradually. Patience is not passive. Patience is strength under control. It is the ability to continue moving forward without demanding immediate rewards. The Stoics understood that life unfolds according to its own timing. You cannot force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. You cannot rush wisdom. You cannot accelerate growth beyond what the process allows. Many people quit too early because they mistake slow progress for failure. But slow progress is still progress. Every small action compounds. Every disciplined choice matters. Every day you continue showing up, you are building a future version of yourself. And eventually, the results become visible. Not because you forced them. Because you remain faithful to the process. The fifth Stoic rule is accepting reality exactly as it is. This does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive. It means seeing clearly. Suffering often comes from arguing with reality. Wishing the past had been different. Wishing people behaved differently. Wishing circumstances matched our preferences. But reality does not negotiate. The sooner you accept what is, the sooner you can begin working with it. Acceptance creates clarity. Clarity creates action. Action creates transformation. Many people remain trapped because they spend their energy resisting facts. They fight reality instead of responding to it. The Stoics taught that wisdom begins where resistance ends. When you stop asking why something happened and start asking what you can do now, your life begins moving forward again. Because your power exists only in the present moment. Not in yesterday. Not in tomorrow. Right here. Right now. And this moment is enough to begin again. The sixth Stoic rule is becoming the person capable of receiving what you want. Most people focus entirely on getting. The Stoics focused on becoming. This distinction changes everything. Instead of asking, "How do I get success?" ask, "Who must I become to handle success wisely?" Instead of asking, "How do I get love?" ask, "Who must I become to create a healthy relationship?" Instead of asking, "How do I get wealth?" ask, "Who must I become to manage wealth responsibly?" Life often gives us what we are prepared to handle. Growth comes first. Results follow. The seventh Stoic rule is practicing gratitude before receiving anything. This may sound simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Most people wait until they receive something before feeling grateful. The Stoics understood a deeper truth. Gratitude itself transforms perception. When you appreciate what you already have, your mind shifts from scarcity to abundance. You begin noticing opportunities. You become more resilient. You experience greater peace. And you stop living as if happiness exists somewhere in the future. You discover it here. Today. In this moment. The eighth Stoic rule is refusing to be controlled by fear. Fear has stopped more dreams than failure ever could. Fear of rejection. Fear of judgment. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of uncertainty. Fear convinces people to stay small. It persuades them to settle. It tells them to wait. But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. The Stoics repeatedly reminded themselves that discomfort is temporary. Regret often lasts much longer. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping into uncertainty. The ninth Stoic rule is protecting your inner peace at all costs. Not every argument deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your reaction. Not every battle deserves your energy. One of the greatest signs of wisdom is learning what to ignore. Your peace is precious. Guard it carefully. The 10th Stoic rule is trusting the process of life. Not blindly. Not passively. But wisely. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Yet many of the greatest blessings arrive through unexpected paths. The rejection that redirects you. The setback that strengthens you. The delay that protects you. The ending that creates a better beginning. Sometimes what appears to be a loss is actually preparation. Sometimes what feels like failure is hidden guidance. Sometimes life is working for you in ways you cannot yet see. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep becoming. And remember this powerful Stoic truth. The more you cultivate wisdom, discipline, patience, gratitude, courage, and inner peace, the less you need to chase anything. Because what belongs in your life begins finding its way to you. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel right now, leave a comment below sharing which Stoic rule spoke to you most deeply, and join us on this journey toward a stronger, calmer, and more powerful life. Everything you seek begins with who you become. And when you become the right person, everything else starts falling into place. There is something profoundly liberating about realizing that you do not have to control everything. For most of our lives, we are taught the opposite. We are taught that success comes from gripping life tighter, from planning every detail, from worrying about every possibility, from trying to predict every outcome. Yet the harder we try to control what cannot be controlled, the more exhausted we become. Think about how much energy people waste worrying about things they cannot change. They worry about what others think. They worry about future scenarios that may never happen. They replay old mistakes over and over in their minds. They carry burdens that belong to yesterday while fearing problems that belong to tomorrow. Meanwhile, the only moment they truly possess slips away unnoticed. The Stoics understood something that modern society often forgets. Peace begins the moment you separate what is within your control from what is not. Your effort is yours. Your character is yours. Your choices are yours. Your attitude is yours. Your integrity is yours. Everything else belongs to life. The opinions of others. The outcomes of your efforts. The timing of opportunities. The actions of other people. The unexpected twists and turns that no one can predict. When you stop trying to dominate these things, an incredible amount of emotional energy is released. Suddenly, your mind becomes quieter. Your heart becomes lighter. Your path becomes clearer. And that energy can finally be invested where it actually matters. Into becoming stronger. Into becoming wiser. Into becoming more resilient. One of the greatest misconceptions about manifestation is that it means making the universe obey your desires. The Stoics would disagree. They believed true manifestation happens when your character aligns with reality. When your thoughts, actions, and values become consistent. When your life stops being driven by emotional chaos and starts being guided by wisdom. Many people say they want success. But their habits create failure. Many people say they want peace. But they feed their minds with constant negativity. Many people say they want confidence. But they spend every day criticizing themselves. The results you experience often reflect the person you repeatedly choose to be. That is why Stoicism places so much emphasis on daily discipline. Not because discipline is glamorous. Not because discipline is exciting. But because discipline quietly shapes destiny. Every day you choose patience over anger, you become stronger. Every day you choose courage over fear, you become stronger. Every day you choose action over excuses, you become stronger. These small victories may seem insignificant. But they accumulate. Day after day. Month after month. Year after year. Until one day, people look at your life and call you lucky. They see the success. They see the confidence. They see the calmness. But they never see the countless moments of discipline that created it. The Stoics knew that greatness is built in private. Long before the world notices. Long before recognition arrives. Long before results become visible. A seed spends a long time underground before anyone sees a tree. Your growth works the same way. There may be seasons in your life when it feels as though nothing is happening. You are working hard. You are trying to improve. You are making sacrifices. Yet the results seem invisible. These moments test your faith. Not faith in the universe. Faith in your own process. Faith in your own growth. Faith in the idea that every meaningful effort matters, even when no immediate reward appears. Most people quit during these seasons. Not because they lack potential. Because they lack patience. They expect visible rewards too quickly. They demand proof before continuing. But growth often happens in silence. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is absent. The roots are still growing. The foundation is still forming. The transformation is still happening. Trust the process. The person you are becoming matters more than the timeline you have imagined. Another powerful Stoic lesson is learning how to be alone without feeling lonely. This is becoming increasingly rare in today's world. People fear silence. They fear stillness. They fear being alone with their thoughts. As a result, they constantly seek distraction. They fill every empty moment with noise. Social media. Television. Endless scrolling. Endless consumption. Anything to avoid confronting themselves. But the Stoics valued solitude. Not because they hated people. Because they understood that self-mastery requires self-reflection. When you spend time alone, something remarkable begins to happen. You hear your own thoughts more clearly. You become aware of your fears. You recognize your weaknesses. You discover your strengths. You begin understanding yourself at a deeper level. And once you understand yourself, the world loses much of its power to confuse you. The strongest people are not those who can dominate others. The strongest people are those who can sit quietly with themselves and remain at peace. Imagine reaching a point where your happiness no longer depends on constant stimulation. Where you do not need applause to feel valuable. Where you do not need attention to feel significant. Where your worth remains stable regardless of who notices you. That is freedom. And freedom is attractive. People often chase external validation because they secretly doubt their own value. They hope others will provide the certainty they cannot provide themselves. But external validation is temporary. Today people praise you. Tomorrow they criticize you. Today they celebrate you. Tomorrow they ignore you. If your identity depends on public approval, your emotional state will constantly fluctuate. The Stoics offered a better solution. Become your own source of validation. Live according to principles. Live according to values. Live according to integrity. At the end of each day, ask yourself a simple question. Did I act according to my highest standards? If the answer is yes, you can sleep peacefully. Regardless of what others think. Regardless of what happened. Regardless of what remains unfinished. Your opinion of yourself becomes stronger than the opinions surrounding you. And when that happens, a profound confidence begins to emerge. Not arrogance. Not superiority. Confidence. The quiet certainty that comes from knowing who you are. The confidence that does not need to announce itself. The confidence that does not need to prove itself. The confidence that remains steady even during uncertainty. Life will test you. There is no avoiding this. Everyone experiences loss. Everyone experiences disappointment. Everyone experiences failure. Everyone experiences pain. The Stoics never promised a life free from hardship. Instead, they taught how to become stronger than hardship. This distinction changes everything. Many people spend their lives hoping difficulties will disappear. The Stoics focused on developing the strength to face them. Because hardship is not the enemy. Weakness is. Fear is. Avoidance is. Every challenge contains an opportunity for growth. Every setback contains a lesson. Every obstacle contains hidden wisdom. Marcus Aurelius famously reminded himself that the obstacle becomes the way. Think about that. The obstacle becomes the way. The very thing standing in your path may actually be the path. The rejection teaches resilience. The failure teaches wisdom. The loss teaches gratitude. The struggle teaches strength. Without challenges, growth remains theoretical. Challenges transform knowledge into character. And character ultimately determines destiny. One reason so many people never receive what they desire is because they focus entirely on outcomes. The Stoics focused on process. They understood that outcomes are uncertain. Process is available every single day. You may not control whether people support your dream, but you control your effort. You may not control how quickly success arrives, but you control your consistency. You may not control every opportunity, but you control your preparation. Success often arrives where preparation and opportunity meet. Most people only notice the opportunity. They never see the preparation. They never see the years of discipline, the years of growth, the years of perseverance, the years of showing up when nobody was watching. Yet those years are what create the moment everyone else calls an overnight success. Keep preparing. Keep improving. Keep building. Even when results appear distant. Even when recognition is absent. Even when progress feels slow. Because every day of growth is bringing you closer to the person capable of handling the life you desire. And perhaps that is the greatest Stoic secret of all. Life is not only preparing your future. It is preparing you. The opportunities you seek are important. But the person you become while pursuing them is even more important. Because opportunities come and go. Money comes and goes. Relationships come and go. Circumstances come and go. But character remains. Wisdom remains. Strength remains. Inner peace remains. These are treasures no one can take from you. And when you possess these treasures, something extraordinary happens. You stop living from fear. You stop acting from desperation. You stop chasing every shiny distraction. You stop seeking fulfillment in places where it cannot be found. Instead, you begin living from a place of completeness, a place of stability, a place of inner abundance. And it is from this state that life often begins responding differently. Doors begin opening. People begin noticing. Opportunities begin appearing. Not because you forced them. Because you became aligned with the qualities that naturally attract them. The Stoics would tell us that true manifestation is not about controlling the world. It is about mastering yourself. Master yourself, and the world becomes easier to navigate. Master yourself, and fear loses its grip. Master yourself, and peace becomes possible even during chaos. Master yourself, and everything you seek begins moving closer, not because you chased it harder, but because you finally became ready to receive it. And if these words are speaking to your soul, subscribe to the channel right now. Join this community of thinkers, dreamers, and warriors who are committed to building unshakable inner strength. Because the world does not need more people who can control others. The world needs more people who can control themselves. And that journey begins today. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember one thing above all else. Everything you desire is not as far away as you think. The peace you seek. The confidence you crave. The success you dream about. The love you hope to experience. The life you imagine when you close your eyes at night. It does not begin somewhere in the distant future. It begins within you. Right now. At this very moment. The Stoics understood that life changes when we change. Not when circumstances become perfect. Not when everyone agrees with us. Not when every obstacle disappears. But when we decide to become stronger than our excuses, wiser than our fears, and calmer than our doubts. You do not need to force life. You do not need to chase every opportunity until you are exhausted. You do not need to beg for attention, approval, or validation. What belongs to you will not require you to betray yourself to obtain it. Keep working. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep showing up, even when nobody notices. Keep trusting the process, even when the results seem invisible. Keep choosing discipline when it would be easier to quit. Keep choosing courage when fear whispers in your ear. Keep choosing gratitude when life feels unfair. Keep choosing patience when everything inside you wants immediate results. Because every single day you do this, you are becoming the person capable of receiving everything you desire. One day, you will look back and realize that the delays were not punishments. They were preparation. The setbacks were not the end. They were lessons. The struggles were not obstacles. They were building your strength. And the waiting was not wasted time. It was shaping the person you needed to become. Never underestimate what can happen when a person commits to mastering their mind. A peaceful mind is powerful. A disciplined mind is powerful. A grateful mind is powerful. A stoic mind is unstoppable. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with patience. Walk forward with faith in your own growth. Trust that every step matters. Trust that every challenge carries a lesson. Trust that every season has a purpose. And most importantly, trust yourself. Because the moment you stop forcing life and start mastering yourself, everything begins to change. Remember this. What is meant for you will come. What is meant to stay will stay. What is meant to leave will leave. And through it all, your greatest responsibility is to become the strongest, wisest, and most peaceful version of yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video inspired you, encouraged you, or helped you see life from a new perspective, don't just watch and leave. Take action right now. Click the subscribe button and become part of this growing community dedicated to Stoicism, inner strength, wisdom, and personal transformation. Every subscription helps us create more life-changing content, and it ensures that these timeless Stoic teachings continue reaching people who need them most. Also, leave a comment below and share the lesson that resonated with you the most. I read your comments, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Give this video a like, share it with someone who may need these words today, and click the notification bell so you never miss another lesson on building a stronger, calmer, and more powerful life. Until next time, remember: stay patient, stay disciplined, stay grateful, stay stoic, and never forget, everything will come to you when you become the person ready to receive it.